Can I tell you the worst story I've heard this week? You know I'm an animal lover.
Right.
Have you heard about this Peanut the squirrel story?
No.
This guy who saved a squirrel after its mother was hit in New York City in the street. So this guy rescued a baby squirrel after its mom was hit and killed by a car in New York City. Took him in and kept him as part of the family, as a pet. Mark names the squirrel Peanut. Is that cute? I mean, how cute is that? It starts out 7 years ago with Mark by himself. So this is where he finds the baby squirrel. To see how he like climbs
Oh my
up.
gosh.
Yeah, so he's like climbing up.
Did it just, I was like, oh my gosh,
See?
it jumped up and got into his
Yeah,
pocket.
he's like doing a handstand and he's crawling up and down his torso.
That looked, where it was going to get inappropriate.
Well, I mean, there's a little bit to that. But wait, just watch.
Wait, so at this point, is the squirrel like 7? How long do squirrels live? I have no idea.
You know, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I think they live for. But look,
gosh.
he's like, how does he do it? He's got him holding
It's like
that
a
waffle
little-
breakfast
The
with peanut.
squirrel is holding
the sign. Yeah. See,
Chris,
isn't it?
oh
cute?
God, I can't take this story already.
I know. Okay.
Oh my God.
So they became a success online, and through their vast internet presence, Mark gets to meet his future wife, a woman by the name of Daniela. She gets involved, and she's also an animal lover, and they decide they want to just take care of animals full time. So they move to Elmira, New York, and start an animal sanctuary called Peanut's Freedom Farm, where they save all kinds of animals, a lot of horses, from certain death at the slaughterhouse.
Oh my
So that's what they
God.
that's like what they decided to do with their lives, you know. And presumably this is all born out of Peanut the squirrel.
Holy shit.
Peanut's Freedom Farms. Now, this is a beautiful endeavor and, you know, just a wonderful way to spend your life, I'm sure. But it involves a lot of travel, a lot of going to horse auctions. It's expensive to do this kind of life, right? Mark and Danny they're both very attractive people. I mean, she's a model. Apparently was a tattoo model, you know, blonde, very attractive. And, you know, there's more than one way to make money online, as we all know. And according to New York,
Where are you going with it?
well,
do I know? I don't know that I do know. If I did know, maybe I'd be doing it.
I think you do know.
What?
But I'll tell you, according to a New York Post article, which was published on November 3rd, Mark said, quote, "Did this do wonders to my OnlyFans?
Oh, shut up. That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
It's making a lot of money from this."
Like, what's a lie?
In fact, the article goes on to say that they said they bought their 350-acre spread near Elmira with the $800,000 they made in 1 month
Shut up.
posting their porn
Shut
online.
up. Shut up. Oh my God.
1 month, honey. So
Oh my God.
that is
That's insanity.
so right up to this
Holy
point.
fucking-
Yeah, I mean that's
Like, you're
amazing.
made-
Unfortunately, we do have to get to the part where I started to say that it was the worst story that I heard this week.
All right. Yeah, because
Okay.
so far this is the best story I've heard this week.
So here we go. The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, that's the DEC, seized the squirrel Wednesday along with Mark Longo's pet raccoon named Fred.
Why?
It goes
Why?
on. Okay, so the article goes on to say, on October 30th, DEC seized a raccoon and squirrel sharing a resident with humans, creating the potential for human exposure to rabies. In addition, a person involved with the investigation was bitten by the squirrel to test for rabies. And here's the hard part. Both animals were euthanized.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
The New York State Department
Oh
of
my
Environmental
God.
Conservation and Chemung County Department of Health said in a statement, the animals are being tested for rabies, and anyone who has been in contact with these animals is strongly encouraged to consult their physician. So, you know, let's just talk
But,
about
they
that.
could not have had rabies, right? Because if an animal has rabies, doesn't it make them crazy and aggressive?
Yes, there's obvious signs if an animal has rabies. And, you know, I believe Mark has been bit by the squirrel a couple here and there, you know, a couple of times, and he doesn't have rabies. And so, you know, it's kind of hard to understand. I mean, you have, it just seems like a kind of a long way to go to confiscate animals that are pets in your home.
Like, seriously, these people don't have anything else to do. There's like people out there who are you're killing animals, like killing horses, killing dogs, fighting dogs.
They're saving animals.
You can't go after them. You have to go after the people who have the most amazing,
the two nicest people in the world.
Yeah.
The nicest
apparently
people.
the two hottest people in the world.
They're hot. They're using their power for good. You know?
I just spit on myself. But like, but like, oh my God. Oh my God.
So
this is,
yes.
I mean, I can't even look at, like, I feel like my face doesn't know what to do.
But what you have to hear is you have to hear from Mark himself, the way he tells it to Chris Cuomo.
So this just happened? Not that long ago?
It happened on October 30th.
Oh my gosh.
2 days ago, 10 to 15 DEC officers raided my home for a raccoon and a squirrel. We used resources from this state to kill a squirrel and raccoon and raid my house as if I was a drug dealer. We have resources to kill a raccoon and a squirrel, but we can't fix the major bridges down the street.
Who do you think dimed you out on this? Who do you think, Mark, like they said for rabies, they're pretty severe symptoms and demonstrations of behavior. Couldn't they have just observed the squirrel and the raccoon and said, well, they don't look rabid? And who told them that they might be rabid?
We did not hear from the DEC. We didn't even get a statement from the DEC. We heard it from another news station that they killed Peanut. Since they left my house, not a single DEC employee or state official even called me to tell me what happened. They came into my house. They even asked my wife for immigration status. They asked me if I had cameras in my house. They got local sheriffs to approve this. The DA approved this. They had a criminal judge sign a search warrant to come and take these animals. The woman who claimed, or the member who claimed to get bitten, everybody around here wore gloves. These are professionals who deal with animals on a daily basis, and you're going to tell me you got bit by a squirrel? None of this transpired. This was somebody out to get me. We moved to a small town to start a nonprofit animal rescue called Peanuts Freedom Farm. We understood that this internet sensation was a wave, and we wanted to turn it into something great, so we moved to New York from Connecticut. We moved here last April, and we started a nonprofit and have rescued over 300 animals, all in the name of Peanut. Peanut is the center of our organization. I used his social media to gather the funding to continue to help animals. And the DEC comes in here. They wouldn't even allow me to feed my horses who have been coming from neglected cases. They spent 5 hours taking apart my house for a squirrel and a raccoon. So I need an explanation as to why this state can find the funding to bring this many people to my house to destroy my life, but we can't fix major issues that we're having in this state.
So can you believe that? They came in with like 10 to 15 DEC agents to confiscate 2 small pets, a raccoon and a squirrel.
That's P. Diddy level.
Yeah, it's like a drug. He's a drug dealer. And he's got all these animals that he's looking after. He's got all these horses that need help. They need medication. You know, throughout the day, they need their breakfast. He was set outside of his house, and he wasn't allowed to move while they were inside. And when he asked, hey, can I go feed my horses, and take care of my animals? They wouldn't let him do it for 5 hours. They kept him away from taking
and the horses
all his animals.
It's happening again.
Yeah, it's almost like abuse all over again. So, it just seems like a really harsh move. So you have to ask yourself, what drove the DEC to stage that kind of a raid at his home?
It feels personal. It's like somebody personally wanted to take this life down.
It does sound like that, and it's hard to say, but there is another article that I found, USA Today by Greta Cross, that says the seizure occurred due to multiple reports from the public about the potentially unsafe housing of wildlife that could carry rabies and illegal keeping of wildlife as pets.
But why do you care?
That's according to the DEC. But according to that earlier New York Post article, Peanut the squirrel was ratted out by someone, and his upstate owners think it was over jealousy. Okay?
Of course.
Mark and Daniela Longo told the Post on Sunday that they had been cashing in on their furry internet sensation, who helped steer followers to their raunchy OnlyFans page before he was seized from their animal sanctuary and euthanized by state environmental officials over rabies last week.
So here's what's so sick about that to me is that, like, if you are a terrible couple that was like, I'm making, like, I truly don't believe, like, as if they were like, whatever, I'm just using these animals to get people to my OnlyFans page, but I don't really care about them and, like, they're suffering and whatever. But I'm literally using these animals. Yeah. But that's not what was happening. No. It was like this, like, it just so happened that me and this animal's owner are, like, having sex over here. If you'd like to watch that also. Yeah. I mean, but, like, were they actually, like, I'm not totally familiar with, obviously I know what OnlyFans is, but I don't know, like, what goes on. Is this, like, Pornhub, or is it just, like, it's a
subscriber based?
No, I get that, but are they, like, actually, like, getting biblical?
Listen,
or is it,
like,
you went to their,
no.
Well, I'm a subscriber, so let me tell you what's happening.
I'm going to make the same statement that you're making, which is true, in that I don't really know. I think you can do whatever you want if people are willing to pay for it, okay. I guess, okay. Right? And then it's X-rated, right?
Yeah. I mean, it can be. I don't.
So that's the story, and it seems like a real injustice.
So they really just don't know. But
they don't know. That's what they're saying.
They
feel like somebody was jealous of their situation. I wasn't able to find any background X's or anything like that.
That is so, X's.
Yeah.
That is just so sickening. Like, okay, you're taking down these people, this couple, but you're also taking down these innocent animals who are having, like, living their best lives, and that they're helping save, when there are so many. It just makes me so sick. There's so many horrible people
it's
out
awful.
there.
And as he said in the Chris Cuomo interview, the things they could have been spending the money on.
Yes.
To fix the city. And they go after these poor people,
oh God,
these two animals.
Is just so sick.
And then the really sad part is that they picked them up on the 30th of October, and on the 1st they euthanized them. And Mark had to find out from another local news station. They didn't even. It's like so they took them out of the house. They didn't follow up and say, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's what you can do. They just did. He says he plans to take legal action over what he considered was excessive force from the rape.
Good.
So I don't know exactly what that means, but we will stay tuned to see where this story leads. In the meantime, and this is heartbreaking too. In a November 1st Instagram post, Mark and his wife Danny appear holding up a black and white drawing of Peanut, tearfully announcing his death, with the caption reading, "Rip, my best friend. Thank you for the best 7 years of my life. Thank you for bringing so much joy to us and the world. I'm sorry I failed you, but thank you for everything." So that's the worst story that I've heard all week. And yes,
actually, it totally does make you right.
It makes you sad. And I mean, I think it is a crime. I feel like it's a crime. Maybe it's not a legal crime, but it's a crime of humanity.
Oh, God.
I'm telling you.
And if you like getting all the crime in half the time, make sure to subscribe so you can keep up with this case and more. I'm Chris. Amy and I are here 3 times a week with new recaps. See you next time.